Frieren, Beyond Journey's End. Season 2. Episode 3 is the kind of episode that was almost guaranteed to divide the fan base the moment it aired, not because it is overtly bad or poorly produced, but because it leans so heavily into the exact storytelling choices that have always polarized viewers. And for many fans online, this episode represents the point where patience is either rewarded or finally begins to wear thin, as one of the most immediate complaints revolves around pacing, with viewers expressing frustration that the episode once again prioritizes quiet reflection, subdued interactions, and atmospheric moments over tangible narrative progression, leading some to feel that very little actually happens, despite the runtime. This reaction is especially common among fans who expected Season 2 to gradually escalate momentum, only to feel that Episode 3 reinforces the same slow rhythm established earlier without offering a clear sense of buildup or payoff, making it harder for casual viewers to justify continued investment. Another recurring criticism centers on emotional restraint, as many fans acknowledge the beauty of Frieren's subtle storytelling while simultaneously admitting that the episode's key moments feel emotionally distant, with important ideas being implied rather than explored, causing some viewers to struggle with understanding what they are supposed to take away from the episode beyond general melancholy. Online discussions frequently point out that Frieren's internal development remains difficult to track, as her reactions and realizations are presented so quietly that viewers are left debating whether meaningful change is actually occurring or whether the story is intentionally maintaining emotional stasis, a choice that can feel unsatisfying to those craving clearer character evolution in Season 2. Supporting characters are also part of the criticism, with some fans feeling that Episode 3 does little to deepen their arcs, instead positioning them as emotional accessories to Frieren's perspective rather than independent agents, whose growth actively drives the story forward. This perception feeds into a broader concern that the anime is relying too heavily on tone and atmosphere to carry episodes that lack strong narrative hooks, which becomes more noticeable when multiple episodes follow a similar structure of travel, reflection, and understated resolution. Another issue raised by viewers is the lack of tension, as conflicts in the episode are often perceived as low stakes or emotionally muted, making it difficult for some fans to feel urgency or anticipation for what comes next, especially when dramatic moments resolve without confrontation or consequence. Fans online also debate whether the episode assumes too much familiarity with the series' themes, as newer or returning viewers may feel lost or disconnect when the episode does not clearly signal why certain moments matter, reinforcing the idea that Frieren can feel inaccessible if you are not fully aligned with its storytelling philosophy. This has led to concerns that Episode 3, while consistent with the anime's identity, may struggle to hook viewers who are waiting for a more decisive narrative direction in Season 2. What ultimately defines the mixed reaction to Frieren's Season 2 Episode 3 is not hatred but uncertainty, as many fans express admiration for the craftsmanship while simultaneously questioning whether the series is asking too much patience without offering enough emotional or narrative clarity in return, creating an episode that some viewers find quietly beautiful and others find frustratingly uneventful. And it is this exact split that continues to fuel debate around Frieren, proving once again that its greatest strength, restraint, is also the source of its most persistent criticism. And that uncertainty is what makes the reaction to Season 2 Episode 3 linger, longer than a typical slow episode complaint. Because for many fans, this episode doesn't just feel quiet, it feels representative, raising concerns that the season's trajectory may continue to prioritize repetition over progression, which is where online discourse begins shifting from patience to skepticism, as viewers start asking whether Frieren is intentionally circling its themes or unintentionally stalling them. A common sentiment surfacing after the episode's release is that while the anime remains beautifully produced, its emotional language has become so familiar that moments which once felt poignant now risk blending together, making Episode 3 feel less like a meaningful chapter and more like a reaffirmation of ideas the audience already understands, such as the fleeting nature of human life and Frieren's delayed emotional awareness, without offering a new angle or escalation. This repetition becomes especially noticeable when fans compare Episode 3 to earlier standout moments in the series, noting that what once felt revelatory now feels expected, causing some viewers to worry that the anime is leaning too heavily on its established formula rather than evolving it in Season 2. Another point of criticism that gains traction is the episode's reluctance to challenge Frieren directly, as her perspective once again remains largely unopposed, leaving viewers who crave ideological or emotional friction feeling unsatisfied, particularly in a season that many hoped would complicate her worldview rather than simply reinforce it. This has led to discussions about whether the anime's refusal to introduce strong conflict is a deliberate artistic stance or a missed opportunity to deepen engagement, especially when Episode 3 presents situations that could have sparked disagreement, tension, or moral discomfort, but instead resolve quietly without leaving lasting impact. Fans also point out that the episode's subdued tone may struggle to maintain momentum on a weekly release schedule, as the absence of strong cliffhangers or narrative hooks makes it harder for casual viewers to feel urgency about the next episode. A concern that becomes more pronounced when episodes are consumed individually rather than binged. This feeds into a broader anxiety that Frieren's strengths are better suited to reflective binge-watching than episodic anticipation, making Episode 3 feel less satisfying in isolation, even if it functions better within the season as a whole. Ultimately, the mixed reaction to Frieren, beyond Journey's End Season 2. Episode 3 reflects a growing divide within the fanbase, where longtime admirers continue to appreciate the anime's restraint, while others begin questioning whether that restraint is evolving or simply repeating itself, turning Episode 3 into a quiet but pivotal moment in the season's reception. Not because it fails outright, but because it forces viewers to confront what they truly expect from Frieren moving forward.